Today we're talking about how to know early on if solar is even worth considering, why 2025 legislation has drastically changed this, and how mortgage programs are now into play with this. Let's roll into it.
Welcome to Loans Elevated.
Okay, Broch.
Well, with the topic, you already know that I've got an opinion on it. Is that why you changed it?
Yeah. We always do topics, like we plan them ahead, of course, and we're all in charge of different topics.
Yep.
So I know he's passionate about this topic, so I changed on him last minute. So this is Broch's true thoughts off the rip of what we're doing. But I've always thought of solar, I've always poo-pooed on it, honestly, because I've never really done the research because I was associated with door-to-door salesmen. I don't like being sold things. I don't understand it. So I've never even looked into it. However, it's also one of the most common questions I get after closing with clients. Hey, should I look into solar? And I've never been able to give the good advice that I probably should have given. So let's dive into it. And there's also been some legislation this year that's changed the way that solar is sold. I mean, with tax benefits no longer being offered as of the end of this year. So if you are getting solar right now, you've got to get it right now installed by end of the year in order to get that tax benefit, which
I've heard you have to have an agreement with the solar rep signed in the next 2 days by Halloween of this year, 2025, in order to give them time to get the permits and approvals in process to even meet that deadline. So basically it's sunsetting this week.
Yeah.
More or less.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But how you should evaluate if solar is worth it for you. Number one is look, and it's all in break evens. Look at the break even period, which we look at all the time with interest rates. So it's the same concept now just applied towards solar. Look at your power bill. The way to look at it right now in Utah specifically, if you are less than $150 a month in your power bill, might not be worth it. Of course, this just depends on the size of home and whatnot and how many panels you're going to have. But if you're 150 plus, if 300 plus, strongly consider looking into it. But of course, you also have to factor in your homeownership horizon, because there's going to be a period attached to it. If you're going to be in the home for less than 5 years, maybe skip out on it. But if this is a long-term play for you, if it's going to turn into an investment property, or if it's going to, you're going to be a primary residence for time, well, maybe consider looking at it. What are your thoughts?
Well, what I didn't know with the legislation, which is crazy, it was an epiphany that I'm like, how was I so stupid to not realize this? But I didn't realize that in reality, all of the compensation from all of these solar salespeople, which we have many clients and friends that are in that business, they make bank, and they always have.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even when I was in college years and years ago, like, we had kids, guys, dudes, whatever you want to call them, going to solar sales for the summer. I almost went multiple times, and then I got together with my now wife, so thankfully I didn't. But I almost went a few times. These dudes were, in one summer, paying cash for a Lamborghini. That was really cool to me. I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, like, we know it's not a mystery, and if it was a mystery, hopefully it's not now. The solar game is a massive cash cow for the people that are playing in it. Like, hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars in income for the solar guys. Sometimes millions, depending on where they sit and how big of a team they have underneath them.
Well, because it's like an MLM scheme too.
Basically.
Like it was
you build a team, and you know, you got to have some management skills and stuff. So, but what I didn't realize was all of that money was essentially a siphon from tax benefits that drew to the banks that created compensation packages to pay these people. It was a 100, basically our tax dollars and your tax dollars, every paycheck, the federal dollars that you spend, that you give the government, was legitimately paying the paychecks of all these people under the guise of, hey, this is really good for the atmosphere, not the atmosphere, the climate, climate change and stuff. It's really good for that, and it's going to save you a bunch of money on your power bill. And it was under the guise of, like, really altruistic benefits for the world and for your family. You're going to save. It's a great investment. when in reality it was a frickin' ripoff scheme.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe it.
And that's why I didn't understand it, but I know it didn't feel good when I'm getting door-to-door sold like this, and I'm like, okay, I'm just not seeing the full picture.
And they're always making bank and never working.
I know,
seriously. Like, what the hell is going on?
Seriously.
And there's other industries like this. So many industries that make a bunch of money. Here's what I would suggest you all do. Consider this. Track the source of the money from industries before you buy into those industries. Is the money coming from some sort of governmental program? If it is, it's kind of a dangerous place to be because the incentives are misaligned somewhere.
And if it is, can you take out the middleman?
Right.
And go directly to the source.
And that's where the benefit comes in. So the benefit, I would say, like with our Solar Assist program, we have a down payment assistance program that is designed around solar. But what they've done is they've taken out all the middlemen. They've taken out the door-to-door salesperson, and they have essentially ripped out all of those commissions, which is like 60% of the cost. So if or 50, 55 maybe.
It's about half.
Yeah. So if you had a $40,000 system, 20 grand of that $40,000 system was going to pay commissions for these sales reps and their manager and their manager and their manager, so on and so forth, creating millions of dollars of income for these people, which is cool. I mean, I'm a capitalist. I like the idea. But what I think the cool thing that's happening now in the industry, and who knows how this will change with the legislation changing and going away. This program may go away. I don't know actually, but they've ripped out the middleman, and now you can get a solar system installed on your home for the same price you would pay any one of these door-to-door sales reps or less. But the beauty is all that profit. So let's just say it's a $40,000 system. 20 grand is the actual cost for the system. 20 grand now goes, this is high estimate, or like rough estimates here, but 20 grand would go in your pocket as the home buyer to fund, or homeowner, to fund down payment assistance, closing cost assistance, rate buy downs, any of the things, so basically now you make
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think
person.
you can do it towards a new roof too.
New roof,
which
new
is
energy
big.
upgrades.
Because when you're looking at solar, and bear in mind, we don't sell solar. You're
Yeah,
talking
we're
to
not solar
novices
guys.
here when it comes to solar. We're just like doing research. But
Plus, we don't like people sucking on the teat of the government money that we all pay into.
that we
so
all pay
it's just
to. Yeah. If the roof is over 10 years old, it might be worth looking at replacing the roof while you do that, because installing solar is not good for the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think the by and large, the statement that I could make where I might buy into solar is if you leverage solar as a resource to solve another issue that already has to be solved. For example, homeownership. You get the down payment assistance. Roof is going to crap and you can't afford to fix it. Well, now you have a cheap way to finance a roof and a little plus benefit of having solar and a cheaper power bill.
Well, and it's cheaper than the alternative. It's actually cheaper than alternative programs out there, like other down payment assistance programs.
Right. Exactly.
So you can get into a house
and
with
cheaper
solar.
than it's cheaper than even a loan to get like a home improvement loan.
Exactly.
To fix your roof. Much cheaper.
And that's just
tax
looking at
deductible.
the loan structure itself. But now if you factor in power bill, you're saving there, it's a no-brainer at that point.
Yep. So when you sounds like now we're the solar sales guys.
I know that's
But when you tack it onto the mortgage program, which we sell, to me it makes sense. It's the only way it makes sense. But here's what I ran, because I actually talked to a solar company who was willing to give me a very significant deal.
Okay.
Like I'm talking a huge discount.
Yeah.
Like 30 to 40% off.
Cool.
Probably charging me no commissions. So I negotiated a good deal, and I was talking to Katie, and I'm like, should we do this? This might work because we have a big power bill. It's like probably $400 a month is our power bill. So I'm looking at it. My system would have costed me 35 grand. That's just the bare system. That didn't include a battery backup, by the way, which the battery backup was another 25 grand. Just the battery.
Wow.
No added efficiency. Just stored energy, but I already have a generator at my house.
Yep.
So it's like, whatever. 35 grand. That's not terrible because I'm getting a lot of panels. It's a big system. 35 grand. I get the benefit, the tax benefits. My net cost was only $24,000 after the tax incentive.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, dang, this is, I don't know, this actually might make sense. And
Did
as
you
a
run
matter
the
of fact,
break-even?
let me reverse that.
Okay.
It was 50 grand after the tax benefits was 35 grand for the one I was actually
Gotcha.
considering.
Okay.
So it was going to save me about $250 a month. So the way I look at things, like you mentioned break even, I looked at it as a kind of an investment. If I have 35 grand and I'm going to put it in one investment, or I'm going to invest it here, how do I run those numbers? So I simply took, and I'll just quickly do it again because I don't remember the numbers exactly.
This falls into optimize, maximize, mitigate. Same stuff.
100%. So I figured $250 a month in savings times 12. I'm going to save $3,000 a year at a cost of $35,000. So I take $3,000, divide by 35,000. My annual ROI on that $35,000 investment is 8.5%. That's pretty good. Not terrible, because it's not a guaranteed, but it's practically a guaranteed return on investment.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of risk. So I'm like, okay. It almost justified it for me. I almost just said, all right, let's pull the trigger.
Can you sell the excess back?
You can, but I wouldn't have had excess.
Gotcha.
It was designed in a way to, I still would have had a small power bill. Okay. I wouldn't even break even.
Gotcha.
I'd still have, my bill was like $400. I'd still have $150 a month that I would pay in power. And I think they're doing that because in Utah, I don't think you can sell it back to the grid.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. I could be wrong. Like, again, not professionals with this.
Yeah,
correct us in the comments.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I think in Utah, the design is how do you optimize the system to give you enough to save the money, but not overkill where you're just giving Rocky Mountain Power free energy.
And you're paying for unnecessary panels.
Exactly. So anyway, 8.5% return on investment. I'm like, that's pretty dang good. Like, I like the sounds of that. But then where I was like, you know what, I'm just going to wait, is I got to thinking, and I did work with ChatGPT on this, and I kind of phrased it to the solar sales rep that I was talking to. They had no valid argument for it. But I was like, okay, the incentives from the government are going away. Well, when you don't have the teat of the government funding your business, essentially, which most regular business owners do not have that, right? You just pay into the government. You don't get subsidies from the government. The whole solar industry is a subsidy from the government. That's how it exists practically now. So I'm like, okay, logically, if that goes away, these companies are going to be forced to compete on something different. They have to compete on ingenuity and innovation and efficiency.
What they bring to the table.
Exactly. They have to compete differently. So I'm like, one, I think that's going to cause more players to, like we were talking about pharmaceuticals. And it's like, okay, well, now it's kind of becoming the generic, right? Because there's going to be different layers of competition. And it's not a matter of like who has, because as I understood it, it was isolated to just a couple of banks that kind of had a foothold on most of this funding from the government that financed that's from an inside solar rep that I know pretty well. Two banks basically controlled like 95% of the market of the industry. That's how they financed it. And they were the ones that got the funding and then passed it on. But anyway, I said, I think they're going to be forced to innovate, and I'm going to get a better system and probably a cheaper system, regardless of getting the government funding, because I'm not going to pay the solar sales rep to buy a Lamborghini this summer.
Yeah.
And additionally, they have been, as I understand it, this is rumor, but as I understand it, they've sandbagged innovation that already exists. There's already panel technology that should be dramatically more efficient than it is, but there's no reason to offer it because they're selling just fine with the subsidies that are in place. And that was their sales pitch, not how quality is the system, how efficient is the system, right? It was how cheap is it to basically leverage the government subsidy to get this system. So I phrased that to them, and they basically had no argument, and they're like, cool. I said, I'll give it 5 to 10 years, and I think I'll get a better system for less money and more efficiency over time. So my return on investment will be greater. And it's not like I can't take that 35 grand and invest that and make 8.5% somewhere else. I can.
Exactly.
Throw it in the S&P 500. So
exactly.
Anyway.
I like your thoughts there. Another thing to consider too is a big selling point of these is there's long warranties on these units and all of that. But the average company is out of business within 10 years anyways.
I was curious about that. I would be shocked if it was even 10.
Yeah, should we look it up?
You should look that up.
They initially told me 10, but let's dig a little bit deeper.
And do you mind if I give a sales pitch on the solar program we have?
Let's do it.
So the solar program we have is kind of solving a lot of these things. They are like, I don't know, it's like they're the Robin Hood of the industry. They're kind of taking the bad of the solar industry, which is a bunch of fat commissions paying people at the backs of consumers getting into debt and more debt. They're now ripping out the middleman, paying you what would be profits as down payment assistance, or like TJ said, the ability to finance roof repairs or electrical repairs and things. But additionally, they were really thoughtful in they have created a third-party warranty where even if they go out of business, the third-party warranty will cover the system for, it's crazy long, like 25 or 30 years, right?
Correct.
So no matter who is in business at that point, you have a warranty that will outlive any business, any sales rep, anything. Most of them, virtually all of them, are not set up this way. Which, did you figure that out? How long do they commonly last? Or like how long do they stay in business?
Still getting 10 years.
10 years. Okay, but whatever. Let's say it's 10 years and they give you a 30-year warranty. Well, they're out of business in 10 years. That warranty was them.
Exactly.
So there's no out of warranty.
Yeah.
And what if they go out of business next year, right?
Yeah.
Which
and
has happened.
a lot of from research I've done too, a lot of the break-even timeframes is anywhere between 9 and 15 years. So if they're going...
Mine was 25 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. So maybe this is wrong there too. But nonetheless, if they're going out of business right when you're break even and your panels might need servicing, you're SOL at that point.
And that's the other thing. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. The break even point when I was running this is I was leveraging chat. The break even mathematically was like 25 years.
Yeah.
I'd make my money back. But that was assuming no repair cost, no maintenance cost, no nothing. It's like, you know damn well it's, I mean,
10 years
my
is a long
sliding
time.
glass door needs maintenance. You know,
Well,
like,
and they're exposed to the elements. They're the first thing that sees it on your house.
Right.
So it's like it's
and it's
inevitable.
electricity. Like there's gonna be it's gonna require some help. You know, and then the other thing, I don't know if you mentioned this, but I have another client that I know. They formulated an entire business and they were making ungodly amounts of money. Like we're talking hundreds of thousands a week they were making in their business. They were doing one thing. Installing them. Hundreds of thousands a week.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I mean, I had family members that just got a new roof and they have solar panels. Well, now you've got to pay the roofing company plus special installers to come out to take them off and then reinstall them, which was not cheap. I think
Which does that void your warranty?
I don't know. I didn't
Maybe.
look into that.
Probably.
Well, actually, funny you say that. There was no longer a warranty because the company was not in place.
Oh my gosh,
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's all full circle.
It's a crazy system.
I think the way it does make sense, to your point earlier, if you're buying a house and you can get solar panels on it anyways, and if you were looking into down payment assistance programs anyways, that's a no-brainer because now you've got to factor in your ROI with homeownership.
Right. And I think, yeah, exactly. I don't think you get solar to get solar. I think if you can leverage solar, because there are unique ways to leverage solar, because like in homeownership, there's just programs designed specifically, and they're more flexible and really like broadly available to supplement efficient upgrades. So like then there's multiple programs for this. The solar one is just one of those, but other energy efficiency upgrades you can get, and there's way more flexibility in the programs. If you can solve a problem by leveraging solar, and solar becomes the bolt-on, not the other thing becomes the bolt-on, like that's where it makes sense, because it's like you're not going wrong on solar, but if it means you replace the roof or you replace electrical and or you become a homeowner because of it, well, hell yeah. If you're not a homeowner now and you spend 20 grand on a solar system, well, you buy that $600,000 house, let's say it appreciates at 5% in the first year, you just made 30 grand in wealth by signing up for a $20,000 solar panel system that enabled you to become a homeowner and create that wealth. So like
No-brainer at that point.
That's a no-brainer. But solar in itself, I'm not a proponent of it now, at least for now. I'm sure I do intend to get it at some point, just
Same
not
here.
yet.
One thing to consider too, if you finance solar on your home, it is going to make it harder to sell the home because there's a lien on the property at that point. More liens, more problems. That's the way I look at it.
And refinance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. So oftentimes the solar needs to be paid off, i.e. wrapped into the mortgage, because it is hard to subordinate these.
And that's the beauty of the program that we have, which I don't know. I feel bad that it continually keeps cycling back to this program. But it's in the first mortgage, so you can refinance. There's not a second mortgage. You don't need to deal with another company to deal with it. It's just in the mortgage. And the cool thing is it's in the mortgage, so mortgage interest is tax deductible. Solar interest is not, right? Any other loan interest is not tax deductible. So I think that's a big bang for the buck too.
Yeah, you hit on the head. And that's all I've got to cover here. But any other thoughts on your end?
No.
Solar in this program?
I'm glad you got me heated up about solar.
I know, there we go. Sweet.
Hopefully we get some solar sales guys triggered, and you can prove us wrong on some of these details, because we're just mortgage guys who have obviously I have a strong opinion on this industry. But
yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't done so, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. We're here for you. Thank you for tuning in. For more industry insights, follow us on all platforms at Loans Elevated.
And to get in touch with our team, call or text 801-713-4000 or visit loanselevated.com.